Е, па добро де. Ајде така. Еве доказ код до Америка не се пушило. Како не се пуше? Пуше се, растура се.
Много ти убава бравакшу.
Еве и е нечето на гостите ми даде.
Много си ми личен. Ja ti kažem, ta boja ti odgovara. Neki mi je портокаловата на тебе. Та плява ти отговаря повече.
Значи, ай сега мога да се... Не. Ай сега, тресни си ти. Браво. Не ме така. Ти не е много воли, ке гледам, ке се задръжа, па воки не да ке изгуби много време.
Да не го правим никога.
Да не го правим никога.
Ladies, айде.
Gentlemen.
Стой бе тамо майка да ти...
Crossfox, да не псува и телевизията снима, не се
Добро да
псува.
я на...
Шетат кучиња,
Да,
палми, да.
Не викам на тебе.
Супер, много ба. Evo, съставче си шета.
Tego съставчето американецо. Чекай другарите всяки свина тук, дали ми е другаро, Сребино вече ти било на гости.
Ajde, idemo dalje. Ajde, Amerika su mačke. Hrana za mačke. Da,
И нас нека да депортираме утре квотом.
Ajde.
И ja ти съпругата.
Pogled od terasa 234C.
Абе не кажу адресата.
Ишо. Тя е колата.
Дека, там бял.
Да,
Градска полиция.
тя е колата.
Него е Лово, тя е Анетка.
Колата.
Една сестра ми тащичката.
Ajde.
Дека Ишо сестро.
Sve je tuka, sve je tuka.
Ева.
First of all, let me welcome you to Whitehall. My name is Lori Hawkins, and I'll be your for about the next hour. I'm very happy to share my information with you, and if you have questions at the end of each room, feel free to raise your hand and get my attention. I'll be happy to answer them as I finish my discussion. And I want to welcome you to the beautiful campus. It is approximately 6 acres total. It has this building and around the corner. Head towards the water. There's also a beautiful pavilion. And inside that is the rail car that Mr. Plaza has used. It's been restored to the original car, and I highly recommend that you go there. It's not part of this tour, but it's part of your admission. Also, another way to get there is you'll see when we go through, there's a gift shop that also has restrooms. And I'm going to point that out to you. And you can go out the doors near the gift shop, and it takes you out to the same location. The other thing I highly recommend is that we have a higher level floor. One floor, we have an elevator where I mentioned already. There's also the staircase, and the next level floor shows you the master bedroom and some of the beautiful bedrooms that are all decorated. You can see it. It's a self-guided tour. You can go at your own pace. There's also some other exhibits. Highly recommend them. You can just breeze through so you can get the full feel of the place. Also, if you're down near the pavilion, you can see the water. It's a beautiful vista. I highly recommend if you have time. You can also sit in the garden and enjoy yourself, get off your feet. Speaking of getting off your feet, we do have some places to sit right around here. Also, about halfway through the tour, there's a place we can sit so you can get off your feet. So, there's very few rules here except have fun, which I really want you to do and feel really good about what you've been, how you spent your time. But also, there's only one, and that's to keep your hands. I do this to children, hands to yourself, but hands off the tables, chairs, walls, everything, because it's a very old building. The reason it's kept so well is because we really respect it. The oils in your hand, the germs, and things like that. We just really hope that you don't touch anything. I'll try to make it interesting. How many of you have been here before? Okay, one. Not too many. Okay. So I'm going to try to tell history, culture, and a little bit about the Flagler family and then where we are today. So that's sort of important. If you go back to the 1800s, how this whole story started is very interesting. Mr. Henry Flagler, who made his money in Standard Oil, and his probably his 60th year. Sadly, his first wife was very ill, and the doctor suggested that she would do better in a warm climate. So he ventured to Florida. He actually went to like St. Augustine and realized that wasn't even warm enough, and he found his way down this way. She sadly passed before she could see any of it, but he fell in love with Florida. But it's not the Florida we would know today. This area was picked, it was very Evergladesy, it was beautiful with grass and lawn and everything, but Mr. Flagler loved the outdoors and he loved the challenge. He had grown up very poor and made his money in Standard Oil, and this was his love letter or gift to Florida. He is called the father of South Florida for this reason, because all the money he put into this was his own money. He bought this piece of property, but before that he built 2 hotels. One hotel, if you would not like look out in the parking lot and look to the left, there's some low-level buildings. In that area is where there was a huge hotel, and that hotel could have 1,600 people seated for dinner. The people who worked there literally rode a bicycle from one end of the property to the other. And then the second hotel, that's hotel Milwaukee. The second hotel, if you were to go, you cannot see it, but imaginary, kind of go straight across here. It's a great, what you see here is a Breakers Golf, but it's a beautiful campus. That hotel still exists. It's not exactly the same as at Mr. Flagler's days, but they were both built before this property. That hotel sadly burned down twice. It was called the Palm Beach Hotel, and it was rebuilt. And it's the beautiful Italian Renaissance hotel that you enjoy today. It's absolutely magnificent. It's also restored and renovated periodically, but it's a beautiful property if you ever get the opportunity. It's highly sought after. It's a great destination. So Mr. Flagler's vision to see this as a destination still exists today. That hotel was rebuilt in 1826, and this home was built in the early 1900s. He moved in 1901, 1902. It took 18 months to complete. Like any of you know, no matter where you're from, 18 months to do anything is amazing. So you can imagine the work that went into getting this hotel built. Now, how did Mr. Flagler get here? This is a good introduction to his railroad and his vision. He had to get here. When I do student tours, I say there was no iPad, there was no emails, there were no cars. So it was just the beginning of time. He had his railroad. So he literally created a railroad from northern Florida that actually in due time went all the way to the Keys. And he built hotels along the way. So he had a vision, he knew what his plan was. The original railroad, this house was originally built, would have been about where this white building is, this condo buildings. But his wife decided that was too close. So he moved his railroad, probably to the bridge that's near him. So the railroad literally came down here came on the personal rail car. But they also had to bring pulp, they had to bring supplies, they had to bring building materials, and they also came to buy a boat. So building this is amazing. Now what you would have seen would have been more like an Everglades picture, which I'll show you inside. It wouldn't have been like this, but we definitely had a vision of how we wanted to. We wanted to be a palace. In that time, it cost about $4 million to build this home. That was the design. Carrier was one of the builders and the architects, and then the designers. So that was a combined bill of the design, the architect, and the building. He wanted to look like a palace, so that's why you see these majestic Doric columns, the beautiful bronze door, and everywhere around you, you'll see signs of opulence, the Gilded Age, over the top. This was a period of huge exploration and expansion, and he had a real love for the arts and technology. Now, technology in terms of what we talk about today. This was one of the first properties that had electric lights. Only 5% of the properties would have had electric lights at the time. This was a property that had indoor plumbing. This is a property that had a telephone. Interestingly, in the bathroom, if you go upstairs, you'll see it's in the master bathroom, which is kind of unusual, just saying. And it, like I said, it had some things that were very, very advanced for the time. So why do we call him the father of South Florida? He brought jobs, he brought agriculture, he brought industry and tourism that we still enjoy today. Florida Power and Light, he brought technology that they still use today, and fresh water and some of the things that he brought with it. So the technology, that's the technology piece. Another part of this, and you'll see when we get inside, this this building, how it's lasted this long. It's stainless steel brick covered with stucco. And then that's amazing. So despite hurricanes and pests and all kinds of problems that come, it still survived today, the original building. Now yes, it's been changed and it's been restored. I call it has 3 chapters. The first chapter was the home. How many people do you think lived here of the family? Who would like that question? Is that a trick question? 2, exactly. And a little dog, little Delos, their dog, which was, I'm sure, very pampered pet. German Spitz lived here with them. Now, they brought some servants, they had some servants, and then they had guests, and they had servants. So really, this huge house really was the home for 2 people. Now, the house was built as a wedding gift for his 3rd wife, Mary Lily. And I will tell you more about that because I got to hold you in suspense when we get into it. So that was the first chapter, was when he was very poor. We'll talk about that when we get inside. The second chapter is when he made his money in Standard Oil. He lived in New York, and then he found his way down here. And then in his later years, he was down here. Sadly, he and his wife didn't live very long in his house, only a few seasons. He died, then his wife died, and it went to a niece, and it became a hotel because the niece sold it because she was a young woman. She had multiple properties that she had gotten through the will of the family, and she just couldn't keep it up, so it became a hotel. And then the 3rd chapter is what we see today, is the beautiful museum that we have. It's a non-profit. It's very philanthropic to the area. We have school tours, we have events all the time. Almost every night there's music. There's programs, there's visiting speakers, there's artists in residence. It's a really dynamic place, and we really owe that to his legacy and the money that he put behind it. So the area to this day really benefits it, and the family is still very involved. They're on the board, you'll see them here, and they're very well respected. So there is a relationship with the Breakers, and so they are very influential, and really had, it's quite a legacy. So we kind of gave you an idea of what it would have been like, what he found, what his goal was. And so now that I've enticed you, please join me. When I raise my hand, we're on the move. We're going to go inside to the main room. Some of you have already been in there, but I'm going to welcome you inside.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I just decided to leave it very much.
Ама после имало некој невреме, не знам кога било тоа, оригиналните железници што падна у водата, па после ги направат мостовите и сега како мостовите. Чека, оне тука живеали ствари, така ли? Тука се
It's approximately 5,000 square feet. It's supposed to have a wow factor. I know many of you are already in here, so you had a chance to look around. Let's start with looking up. We went through the gorgeous doors. If you see that, you can still see the door open. You can see the middle of the door has a lion's head there. That's, again, a power play. It's supposed to evoke a feeling of strength and power. They were sending a definite message. This is supposed to be a wow factor. So the ceiling is built, the gold on it is called the gilding or the gilt of the ceiling. And they actually use actual gold leaf that comes on kind of thin parchment type paper. And you use your finger and a gentle tap of a paintbrush, and you hand apply it to the surface. It lasts a really long time, but it's very delicate to use, but it's certainly beautiful. So that's the ceiling, and then inside there is a portrait, really like an amazing portrait. So it's Apollo giving words of wisdom to the Delphi. So it's supposed to evoke the feeling of the arts and appreciation for history. The gods, the muses are in each corner. So you can see there's definitely influence of the arts because Mr. Flagler very much valued the arts. So you'll see that influences the entire place. The ceiling is historic, on a historic list of mansions, so it's very much recognized and